right, this is Jokes by Gene. We're going to add volume 2 to volume 1. Uh-oh. Joe's Pool Hall, 8 Ball speaking. Leave a message. We'll be back with you. Bye. Now, where were we? All right, I think first before we need to get this thing started, I want to say the Lord's Prayer. Lord, help us not screw this thing up. Amen. You know, I went to school at Lincoln Memorial University, 1950s. The only way you'd get home back then was by hitchhiking. So one weekend, Dale Campbell and I were hitchhiking back. One Sunday afternoon, we got to Tazewell, 12 miles from the school. We couldn't get a ride at all. Everybody going by 2 hours. Nobody pick us up. Finally, this old boy went by this big Cadillac, and old Dale cupped his hands to his mouth and said, "The hell with you!" Old boy slammed on his brakes, started backing up. I said, "Uh-oh, we're going to get our butts kicked now." He backed up and said, "Did you all say LMU?" "Yeah, get in." So he took us all the way to our dormitory even. But, you know, I went to work for NES, you know, and I had this Mitwitty, you know, my boss. Hey, go to court that spell Ward wrong, spell Mitwitty right. How in the world did you do that? But they did. So we had to go to Memphis one time and take depositions. So we were coming back. Mitwitty couldn't drive anyway. And so these truckers were we'd come to a rest area. He'd almost go in and didn't realize that wasn't the way he'd come out. So we did that, and this trucker got on there. I had the CB radios on then, you know, said, "Watch those two nuts up there in that car." I said, "They're all over the road. They can't drive." Well, I said, "Where are they?" He said, "Mile marker 125. He looked over me and said, "Gee, you watch out for them nuts. That's where we are, right here at mile marker 125. You know, this old boy went to revival one time to preach, one of these healing preachers. He got up there and said, "Well, anybody got a hearing problem? I want to take care of it." So the old boy walked up front, and there's 2 or 3 of them there. He laid their hands on them and said, "Okay, now tell me about your hearing problem." The old boy said, "Well, my hearing's not till next Tuesday." And, you know, I had this highway patrolman pull these old boys over. He had to give me your driver's license. Hand me his driver's license. Give me your registration. Hand me his registration. He reached in there and just smacked the devil out of him. Then he walked around on the passenger side and reached in and just smacked the hell out of the passenger. The passenger said, "Well, why'd you do that for? I haven't done anything." He said, "That's just to keep you from going 2 miles down the road." He said, "I wish you'd done that to me." What's that? What is it? Oh, yeah. I talked to Jeannie the other night, you know, about some things. I said, "You know what?" I said, "This is great. Could you ever imagine this? I graduated from Lincoln Memorial University. I graduated from UT Law School. Been practicing law 60 years. I'm in the LMU Hall of Fame. I got a bridge named after me on Interstate 81. Could you imagine that in your wildest dreams?" She said, "Frankly, Gene, you're not in my wildest dreams." Why, if you want to. And you know, from White Pine, you know, I've already said a lot of that about White Pine Volume 1. Well, we had a big baby boom there. The University of Tennessee came up and did a study on it, and they found out because of the train. The train went through there at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, blowing a whistle. So it's too early to get up and too late to go back to bed, so that's what caused the boom. And you know, this old man and woman, they went to the doctor's office. They both make an appointment, and they say, "We want to be in the same room." So they'd be in there about an hour, and they come out. They did that about every week, you know. Finally, the doctor said, "Well, what is this?" So, "Well," said, "you know," said, "we're on a fixed income," and said, "This is cheaper than a Holiday Inn, and besides, Medicare pays for it anyway." We had this old boy from White Pine, you know, old Jack Osborne. I called the other day, old Schaefer asked him, I said, when you seen Jack Osborne? So I the other day, I said, how'd he look? He said, he's coming up the gravel road. I said, well, how'd he look? He said, the gravel road looked better than he did. And you know the difference between a prostitution and a musician? Some things a prostitution won't do for $50. Yeah. And you always had the old saying, you know, like candy's dandy, well, liquor's quicker. And I tell everybody, I make all these talks, tell these kids, I said, don't worry about being average, because you're average, you got to do better than that, because you're average, you're just as close to the bottom as you are the top. So strive to do more than average. And also, it's a good thing that we all don't think alike, because Grandpa said, if we all thought alike, everybody would be running after Grandma. And you know, we have three kinds of people in White Pine. Those that know things, those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that don't know what in the hell's happening. And you know, when you get to be 86, you don't have to worry about people stealing your ID. And also, the death sentence does not have nearly the turn it used to have. And I also had to change my funeral arrangements because I outlived all my pallbearers, so I got to be cremated. Wait a minute, can we cut it a minute?
Okay.
Oh yeah, this old boy in White Pine, you know, went to college, he's a smart one, man. He took the honors. He took the top honor in his class when he was a senior. Of course, he took it, but they made him give it back. And this old boy went to his daddy one day and said, Daddy, I met this beautiful girl. I want to marry her. What's her name? He told her. I'm sorry you can't do that because she's your half sister. Oh. So we get you another one. So we come back later with another girl. He said, I want to marry this one. What's her name? Told her, I'm sorry, son, you can't do that because she's your half sister. So old boy didn't know what to do, so he went to his mama. Said, Mama, what are we going to do? He said, every time I take a girl to my daddy, I want to marry him. He said, I can't because they're my half sister. He said, Gus. He said, don't pay no attention to him. He ain't no kin to you. Hey, Gus.
Hey, Gene, I just want to tell you, when you're recording tonight,
Yeah.
please, one of my favorite things on our other jokes that Gene done, I want you to say, this one's for you, Gus, okay?
I'll do it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gene.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I need to say, now, don't say this is for Gus. And I've said it, and there it is, and it is for Gus. And Springer Mountain Farms chicken. If Gus can't eat it, the chickens don't eat it. There's no preservatives, no artificial anything. Okay? I was at his plant, and he picked up food and ate it, so that's what we feed the chickens. Maybe that's what's wrong with Gus. I don't know. Hey, that's for you, Gus.